Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I have a challenge video. I haven't done the challenge. Usually when I film intros I've already done the challenge, but for this one I haven't. And today I'm going to be doing the one word challenge. It's pretty much where I have 2 days to make a game based on a word that I find in a random word generator. All the words are going to be nouns, so I won't have to do anything like that, but it's just going to be all nouns, and whatever word I get, I'm gonna have to create a game around it. It's similar to a game jam, but I've never actually done game jam, so it's the next best thing. So let's just pull up a random word generator. Okay, so I have the one word up, one word, and then we're gonna generate a random word. Let's see what we get. Hopefully it's something good. Catch. Okay, so we got the word catch. Don't know what to do with this, so I guess we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Okay, take it away, future me. Okay, thanks, past me. So I had to figure out what I was gonna do with the word catch. I started off with some brainstorming, and that quickly turned to nothing. Yeah, so that didn't work.
Many months later.
Still trying to think of something.
2,000 years later.
You know what, at this point, I just can't really figure anything out. Oh yeah, and then I copied and pasted the word too much so that my Google Docs crashed. Who knew that was possible? You could crash Google Docs, but yeah, that happened. Then I had to take it seriously and get to coming up with some ideas. So I was first coming up with the obvious, like catching and throwing a ball. But then I found out that that just wasn't very interesting. I couldn't figure out any games based around that solely. So I moved on to another way of catch, like a catch. So there's a catch. So you have something and then there's a catch. So I took with that idea and built off of it to come up with the game idea. So the whole game was you play like a normal game. It could be any game actually. And then you spin a wheel and then you get something good. But there's a catch. Get it? Say there's a catch, and then there's something that happens bad in your game, and you know it. So you spin the wheel, and there's something good and something bad. So after thinking of that idea, I opened a new project in Unity, and then got to creating. I started this project the way I start all projects, from the beginning. I started off with movement, which is very simple in this game. It's just you point towards the mouse, and when you press W, you move forward towards the mouse. The hardest part was probably having it follow the mouse, because you just have to change the transform, and you can't just do it via rigid body. So that was a little bit different for me, but it was still quite easy. The next part was creating shooting, which was, again, quite simple. There was a little bit of difficulty. I just had to instantiate a bullet and have it go forward. So now I think about it, it really wasn't that hard. The next part, I created trails and particle systems, which was really fun to make. So the enemies were they took a little bit longer because I couldn't find the correct angle for them to turn to, because I couldn't figure out a way for it to turn correctly at the player. But later in the game, I find a really easy way in just one line. So that was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, the next part was creating the enemy bullet, which was a little bit different, but it was not too hard. I just had to told it to go forward and gave it a tag, so if it hit something, it would say, and that was pretty much it. I'm going to stop right here for a second and explain what I did in the Catch Manager. My ideas were to have a bunch of different good things that could happen and bad things. So I had to create a bunch of static variables, which I really wasn't familiar, and I've always been told like static variables aren't the best to use because it's actually, I don't really know why, but I was just never really told to use it that much. And I had over, I think, about like 20 static variables. There's booleans, mostly floats, and I just changed and accesses those values from different scripts, which is really, really easy to do and really easy, and it just made everything go so much faster. So instead of having to get access to each one and access the public variables, I just accessed the static variable of one, which was really nice. Now we got that out of the way, let's go back to the actual development. Next was I had to do Photoshop and started creating the sprite for the wheel, which is really hard because I had to split it into like I think 8 different pieces, which I had to look up a bunch of YouTube videos to figure it out, because, again, not familiar with anything, especially not Photoshop. Actually, I think I used Illustrator instead, because Illustrator is just much easier for me personally. And once I got that, I exported it as a PNG and threw it back into Unity. Once I finished creating the spinner, it was easy as just assigning each angle to an individual reward and catch combination. Once I had that, I created a bunch of if statements to check if the angle was something, then a certain reward and catch happened. So if it was, let's say, A, then extra health and extra enemies. So there's extra health and extra enemies. Then I just grabbed the static variable that I created in the catch manager and just changed that. It was really that simple, and that was the key, because using a static variable made it just so much easier for me to do that. Then all I had left was to add some UI to pull it all together, to create a level system so that it got harder as time went on. And with that, I pretty much had it. And I had finished it in about 3 to 4 days. I did not finish in the 2-day time limit, but you know, I spent like probably 2 days collectively doing it, because on the second day I didn't really spend. I spent like half an hour doing it. So you know what? I win. Yep, because I make the rules and I win. Yep, that's how it works. Okay, anyway. Thank you for watching. This is totally optional, but if you're going to enjoy it, consider hitting the like button and subscribe. Again, totally optional. And I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day and a goodbye.